Hello, everyone. Today's guest is someone who embodies transformation from the inside out. We are joined by Mimi Bouchard, founder of the Activations app and author of the powerful new book, Activate Your Future Self.
Mimi, thank you so much for joining us today. We have been fans of your app for a long time now, so we're really excited to share your work and really get into the details of why this is so powerful. But before we get into it, for those who may not know you yet, who is Mimi Bouchard today and what led you to this work?
Oh, such a great question. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. And, whenever someone asks me, who is Mimi? I've had so many different versions of myself, especially over the past decade. So it's kind of hard to explain, but just high level, I've been through a huge transformation, a huge 180 over the past decade of my life. And I started getting really into personal development around that time. I felt very lost. A decade ago, I was very unhappy in every aspect of my life. I needed a full life reset. So I started diving into personal development work and became quite obsessed with it and obsessed with becoming the best version of myself. And I have achieved that. So I, did everything that I could over those years and learned everything that I could about the topic of personal transformation. And now I teach that to a lot of people. I'm the founder of the Activations app. It's an alternative to meditation. It's a new type of audio. And it's something I developed years ago when I first started this journey. I was trying to meditate, but I couldn't stick to it. I felt like it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. I wanted to feel energized towards my, future. And I wanted to feel motivated and, have this invigoration inside of me, not calm my mind and think about nothing. So I created a new type of audio, and now I have a business called Activations. It's the only place you can find activations. And that's kind of what I focus my time on now. But over the years, I've done many different things. I've always been very entrepreneurial and, but just all in all, very rooted in personal transformation as a focus in my career. A bit more personally about me, I live in the Bahamas most of the time. And then I have a home in London as well, where my fiance and I, we're getting married in a month, so I can almost say husband, where we live about 4 months a year. And we have a little dog named Olive, a little Cocker Spaniel.
You're literally living the dream.
I created this life for myself. Like, this was not by accident. Like, I designed this all because this was my, my dream life. And I'm a big believer that any person out there can create their dream life and their version of that. So
inspiring, really is.
Thank you. I've really just dedicated everything up to this point to helping other people do the same thing, because I feel like I've cracked the code at this point. But yeah, that's a bit about me.
Amazing.
I love that. And we've already said we're such fans of the app.
That makes me so happy.
So can you explain, because you talk a lot about your future self, for those that don't know what that is, can you just explain what it means to be your future self?
Absolutely. So your future self is synonymous with your best self, your ultimate self, your highest self, your favorite self. Your future self, you can tune into that energy right now is what I teach. And in my book, Activate Your Future Self, I talk all about this. I also mention in the book that your future self is not something that will always live in the future, although it says future self. It is a term that means your best self, inherently. So if someone listening doesn't like that and they want your best self or your favorite self, they can use that too. I like to say my future self because I like to live in my future self energy in this moment. Has a certain air about it, a certain feeling about it. But yeah, I talk a lot about future self work and how to train your self image right now to be your future self before achieving everything that future self has materially, right? So the whole point of this work is reprogramming your subconscious and resetting your self-image, your identity, to align with the person you want to be before that life materializes.
Okay, but how would you recommend someone actually activates their future self?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I have a very simple 2-step formula that I like to teach. And this is actually part 1 and part 2 of my book, is the step 1 and the step 2. So the step 1 is clarity. To become your future self, the first step, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter how far away you are to living this life that you want, the first step is getting crystal clear on who your future self is, how it feels to be her. So I keep coming back to how it feels in your body energetically to be your future self, because that is actually the most important thing. I teach people how to create their future self frequency, whether that's in my app. We have a bunch of activations that help you design your future self frequency. I teach it in my book. I can also do like a mini exercise right now if you want.
Oh my God, I love that. Let's do that.
Sure,
Shall we?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is a big part of the clarity piece. And it's, again, all about how it feels inside of your body and around your body. Like energetically, what does it feel like to be your future self? And I'll talk everyone through it really quickly now, but if you want to be a bit more intentional with it, maybe journal about it later or try to do an activation, or do something, by yourself as well. You can do it in any way, but the end result is the same. You want to feel the exact frequency of your future self. So no matter what you're doing, and I'm not big on like closing your eyes and taking big deep breaths and clearing your head. Like it's just
what I was just doing.
Oh, really?
Close my eyes. Listen,
It's good for you, but like I'm just not that. I don't know. It's not what what I specialize in is energizing and visualization focused. I'm like, I don't know. Meditation's boring to me. I know it's so good for you. It's just not my thing as much because I find it hard to stick to. But activation. This is not really an activation that I'm about to do because activation, 50% of it is the cinematic music that we use.
Yeah.
We have these composers from all over the world that do TV and movie scores that are literally so incredible at creating music that makes you feel in a very specific way. It's a very emotive type of cinematic music that we use that makes you actually feel the feelings of transformation. So anyway, what I'm about to say right now, you can do wherever you are, but just tune into your body energetically. Like what is your energy right now? Just acknowledge your energy right now, and it's inside and around you, right? Science has proven that we have biofields around our bodies, 3 to 6 meters around us. That's our energetic field. That's our energy. So our future self frequencies are typically made up of 3 to 5 different feelings or emotions, right? And how you feel those feelings and emotions will be completely unique to you, right? So let's just talk through quite a basic future self frequency. So in your body, after you've acknowledged your energy and how it's feeling right now, just flood your body with the feeling of, let's say, love. Let's say love is the first frequency that we're going to tune into, but we're going to layer them together to create your unique future self whole frequency, right? So feel the feelings of love. You probably feel it in your heart, in your chest, and expand. Just feel and embody, visualize with your body the feeling of love, okay? I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, but once you hold on to that feeling of love and you begin to bring in the next word, and let's say the next word is abundance, okay? Hold on to the feeling of love in your body and bring in the feeling of abundance into your body. Mix it in, okay? What does it feel like to mix both of those energies together?
So good.
Love and abundance. Maybe for me, abundance it's like a lot here, in the like around my shoulders. It's expansive. Abundance in every sense of the word, whatever that means for you. For me, it might be wealth or an abundance of happiness and joy in life. So love is the first layer. Abundance is the second layer. And then once you have been able to hold on to both of those energies intermingled together inside and around your body, by the way, this is very easy. Everyone listening right now being like, whoa, this is complicated. It's not complicated. Just don't overthink it. It's natural for us to feel energy, right? So then you can bring in the third one. So we've done love, we've done abundance, you're holding on to that energy, and let's say awe. We like awe and bliss. Awe is one of my favorite future self frequencies to layer in. So if you're feeling a base of love, of abundance, now bring in some wonder, some awe, like just seeing the magic of the world, that kind of feeling. And then you can keep going on until you feel like the combined energetic frequency that you're embodying, that you're exuding, feels like the future that you want to create, right? And this is more of like the energetics of it, in my book, especially in the activations app, we have writing activations, we have journal prompts in the book. I think journaling when it comes to clarity is one of the best tools that you can use. And you don't need an app. You can just completely freestyle brain dump on paper when it comes to getting clarity. Like you can do it whichever way, more structured, less structured, but putting pen to paper helps so much. So this future self frequency, this love, abundance, and awe, you can add in things like health. You can add in things like wealth. You can add in things like, bliss, happiness, joy, peace, groundedness, whatever it is for you. But once you have that frequency, you can then memorize it. And then the more that you practice memorizing it, the more that you practice living in your future self frequency right now, the more your life will change. So step one is clarity. To create your future self life, you must get so crystal clear on who your future self is and how it feels to be her. Okay, so tuning into that future self frequency. And it's very simple. I'm going to get to step two, but just know that these 2 steps to transformation, it is the most simple thing that is so easy to do once you just see that this is what the truth is, right? Clarity is step 1. Once you have clarity, step 2 is becoming. You must become your future self in everyday moments, in the mundane of life, when you're in line at the grocery store, when you're doing your makeup in the morning, when you're just living, right? You're not going to wait for this big moment to finally become your future self. The trick is in the everyday. So you must become your future self in these everyday moments. And that, the more you do it and the more that you become her in everyday moments, I have a reminder on my phone sometimes, be her now.
I was going to say, you posted this the other day.
Whenever I'm feeling off track, it's like, be her now. So yeah, I posted an Instagram reel about it yesterday, just being her now. Like that's it. Just like Nike is just do it. Be her now is my just do it.
It's like we're always waiting for the perfect time, aren't we?
Exactly.
We put things off. So doing that is just,
exactly.
We need to do that more often.
And 100%. But even hearing you say that, when I saw your reel that you posted, I embodied that feeling and I became her, my future self in that moment. And it is so simple and it's crazy because you can either go down the route in your mind of negativity, victim, whatever that is, or just not being aware. But as soon as you kind of make that switch and become aware, you can romanticize each moment. And that's all it is. And really, you're just enjoying life more. So it's so simple, but so powerful. So honestly, we can't thank you enough for what you're doing.
Thanks.
It's amazing. It really is.
Thank you guys. That's really, really sweet of you. Honestly, I'm just sharing what's worked for me. And I have been through a life transformation, trust me. And this is what works. And I've always liked taking the shortcut. I don't like complicate. I read all of the books. I went to all of the different seminars. I was learning and doing all these online courses when I first got into this work. And it was very complicated for me. And I was trying all these different things and nothing was really working. And then, the method that I've kind of developed and started preaching is all the things that have worked from all these other areas that I was, studying, whether it was psychology, whether it was, more quantum physics side of things, whether it was psychology, whether it was more spiritual and manifestation focused. All of it is pretty much the same thing in different languages. I've realized the actual steps that you need to take to transform your life. It's actually very simple. And I like to say that everyone will say it's the same thing with different words. For example, a spiritualist will call it the law of attraction. An atheist will call it the placebo effect. A Christian might call it prayer. A scientist might call it quantum physics and, how like particles attract like particles. Like it is so crazy to think that everyone is arguing about what is the truth when the truth is everything. The truth is what you believe is your truth, right? Whatever you believe is true. Because if you believe that you're a victim, that's true. Because you're going to find reasons why you are. Your RAS, the reticular activating system in your mind, is literally going to seek out proof to why you are a victim. Okay? And if you believe that you are, no matter what happens, you are going to become financially free in your life. If you came from nothing and in your mind, you have told yourself, no matter what, I'm going to be wealthy and financially free. And this was my story because I didn't come from a lot of money. My parents were struggling artists when I was younger and I had a lot of lack around money. So this is why I got into this work. I wanted to make money. Okay, now it's turned into other things. But that was my main full transparency.
But you were clear, evidently, that's what.
And I knew, and I created the belief in my mind. I had to get rid of the victim mentality and I had to create the belief in my mind.
How did you do that? How did you get
repetition?
Rid of
I didn't have these beliefs before.
Okay.
I was doing this work and I knew, and I started to learn about how powerful the belief system is. What you believe is true. So why don't I believe things that I want to be true? So I knew back then when I had like under $10 in my bank account, I was running from my juice bar job to my interning job to my babysitting job to dog walk. Like I was literally doing everything to just try to make it work, right? And I remember thinking to myself, no, this is part of my story. I'm going to romanticize this because no matter what happens, I'm going to become financially free. And I'm going to have so much money. And I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. Like I'm going to have so much that it's going to be so in excess. I told myself, I'm going to have so much. There's going to be so much excess. I already knew what it felt like to go to the store and not look at the price tag before it happened. I already knew what it looked like to not be waiting for the paycheck to come in to make rent. I already knew what that felt like before it happened. Just like I knew what it felt like to make $100,000 in a month. And then I knew what it felt like to make $1 million in a month. And then I knew what it felt like to, be told certain things about the valuation of my company. And I knew what it felt like before it happened from a financial perspective. And the proof of this work to me, beyond the tens of thousands of people that use my app and have seen insane results from it, that we get messages every single day from people saying, okay, this crazy thing happened. Like it's a joke at this point.
Yeah.
And beyond that, like my life has taught me that this is the truth. This is how the world works. This is
you're literally living proof.
Yeah.
This shouldn't have happened to me.
But I also really quickly believe, we both said to Mimi before this episode began,
Yes.
we genuinely believe that your app and your activations are also part of Raise. So
Yeah.
you are saying you're living proof, but I also feel like we are living proof
Wow.
of how it has worked and how powerful it is. But I cannot thank you enough for making it so simple and
Yeah,
making it
thank
attractive
you.
and appealing. And becoming your future self is fun. Like you
Yeah.
say, it's not sitting there and trying to steal your mind. It's romanticizing each moment in your life. Like I walk most mornings and listen to your activations and I look at the world and the trees and the birds and the flowers. Even in the rain, I will romanticize the smell of the rain.
Yes.
And it's just, even if this future self doesn't happen, why not focus on the joy? Why not romanticize
Exactly.
everything?
Yeah.
But it
Yes.
really has had an impact, on this, because we saw Raise. And I think it's really powerful what you're...
And I think even, removing kind of the future self aspect from it, it's the clarity aspect, I think, that has helped me the most.
Yeah.
Because I go so you do morning walks, but I do evening walks. So after the girls are asleep, it's like I reflect on my day and I listen to your kind of like reflect and let go ones quite often. And it gives me the time to actually sit with my thoughts and reflect and kind of have clarity and let go of certain things as well. And we're so busy in this, it's like we've spoken about before, that no one just sits anymore with their thoughts unless you really intentionally make that time. A lot of people
We're
are just
distracted
we're distracted all the
Yeah.
time. There's always something else to fill your thoughts with, or your mind with. So when you do these walking activations, they just really impact you because it's allowing you the time and the space to just go through what you're saying, whether that's energizing, reflecting, letting go your future self, embodying those kind of things.
And even the short ones are great.
The pep talks,
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
Those
so
are
good.
quick little energy boosters.
I did one this morning on a rebounder. And
Oh,
I
wow.
literally did like a 3-minute one outside and I could see the trees.
Amazing.
And then the girls started doing them. And I was like, this is just so fun to shift your day
Yeah.
from being groggy and waking up. To
You can choose to feel good.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
exactly it, Mimi.
I'm addicted to this work because I like to feel good.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
the
guys do this
choice.
work because you like to feel good.
Yeah.
But it's what you were saying about the music element,
Yes.
because it's all three things. It's your voice, it's the music, but it's also the words that you're saying. And all three of them work together so well because it gives you an instant shift.
Yes.
Like
and
the combination
there's the science
is just-
behind that.
Yeah.
Like we don't just randomly choose the audio engineers we use. We don't just randomly choose background music. We are so intentional. I am such a perfectionist with the activations. And listen, I even write in my book, like, I'm a recovering perfectionist. And like the whole part 3 of my book is about maintaining it and not, we can talk about the bounce back rate and everything. But the one thing I'm okay with being a perfectionist about is the product, because I know that like this is the business of changing lives. Like it has to be perfect. I also just find so much joy in being so obsessed creatively with perfecting the activations. But I'm telling you, everything about it is intentional. I will work with my audio engineers and make sure that the drop of this specific song goes with the word I'm about to say, because that emotive experience
really does. It's like
Yes.
a roller coaster, isn't it? But in a positive way.
Yes.
Like you literally feel the music lifting you up, don't you?
You feel like the main character of
It's
your
like
life.
in the movie.
Yes.
It is. It's literally like
the amount of times I've cried listening to them, honestly.
Yeah.
That means everything to me, first of all. But second of all, you're like honestly so spot on with the movie thing. Like that, I love how you're noticing that, because that's what I was seeking out. I wanted a type of audio, because activations are different. They're not a podcast. They're not meditation. They're not an audiobook. They're not just music. It's a new type of audio that you listen to with your eyes open in everyday moments. Sure, you can listen to them sitting down and try to do the more traditional meditation approach, like sure, but none of our content is silent, sitting, clearing your mind. It's all actively trying to help you become your best self. And the thing about the music is that it really evokes a certain energy inside of you. And I know that transformation is all about energy, right? It's all about what you're exuding, how you feel. So the cinematic composers that we use, they do music for movies, TV shows, big ones too. And they really understand, and they're being instructed to create music that makes the listener feel like they're on this triumphant journey of transformation, of becoming their ultimate self. It's like this, they've gotten to the top of the mountain, they did it. Like that feeling, I wanted to bottle up and put into every activation, no matter in some way, shape, or form. And listen, we have 700 plus activations on the app. They're not all the exact same vibe, but every single one, the intention is for you to feel incredibly different energetically by the end of it. And I'm so happy to hear that you guys feel that.
I walk differently.
Yeah, you do. Yes.
It's like your head's high and you're smiling. You're kind of a bit more.
Because you're walking like your future
must be
self.
like, if people
Like,
looked
are you
out their
okay?
window in the morning and saw me walking past, even with tears rolling down my face, they must be like, who is this girl?
Which one's like your favorite walking one?
What's it called? It's the one, and it even says on it, this is the best one for, it's like a future self.
Become your magnetic future
Yes,
self.
that's the one, magnetic one.
That is my go-to. But the evening
you
one
need
is the golden
energy manifestation. That one's like one of the first ones I ever recorded.
I listen to that with Sufi, my daughter, every night, and she says every night she goes, can we listen to the one where it goes, sit down somewhere comfortable? And that's what we listen to, and she falls asleep to that.
Yeah, that one's like randomly so popular. It's crazy.
Is it?
Yeah. Like
I think it's the
like
timing.
hundreds of thousands of downloads.
The music's very emotive, but in like a peaceful, magical way.
Yes, and it helps you to envision that future self frequency being that golden, sparkly light, right?
And I think for a child, that one's nice as well, because it's quite magical.
Exactly. Yeah, that's beautiful. You should try one of my new favorites.
We wanted to ask which your favorites
are. I'm kind of weird with how I listen to them. Like everyone's different though. Some people do it like me. Some people just listen to all the new ones all the time. I get obsessed and like hyper fixated on like 2 or 3.
And you're like, I want that feeling again. I don't want to try another one in case I don't get that same feeling.
I know. I'm hyper fixated on like 2 or 3 at a time, and I listen to them so much that then I get sick of them, and then I move on to the next. Like that's how it's just like with music. Like I do that with music. You know. So it's just how our brains, but some people want a new one every time. So for me, the ones that the past few months have honestly shifted my state and changed my life an insane amount in 2025. There are a few of them. The first one is it's called Embody Magnetic Manifestation Energy. It's kind of similar to become your
I like that one.
That one just brings you on a journey. Like I listen to that one when I need my energy to go from X to Y. Like I want a big shift. The other one that I've been very obsessed with is we have a targeted visualization category that's all about money. And there's one section called Manifest Money. And then we have the activation manifest X amount of money from $1,000 to $5,000, $10,000, all the way to $100 million. Okay. So we literally have every single amount kind of in stages in between 1,000 and 100 million. So you can select the one that you feel energetically aligns with you most. So I've been listening to those so much, and that one just changes my state so fast. Like, it's insane.
Interesting.
We also have like a yearly income one in the same targeted visualization category.
Some
that
of your
I'm
writing
obsessed
ones
with.
are nice as well, aren't they?
Yeah,
as well,
it's
you
fun.
to journal alongside.
It's fun to not need
have
to
the
think about what
prompts.
to journal.
Yeah.
I love like the future self morning writing activation. Like, you can do it every morning, and it's like 3 to 5 questions.
And then you even have get ready with me, and sometimes it's like I'm
Yeah.
doing my makeup, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yes.
Yes. And then we just have simple affirmation ones. Like, the typical activation is not just affirmations, but then we have the ones with affirmations in the title that you can just listen to these affirmations with feel good music in the background of your life. And I always tell people,
Yeah.
you will see the difference whether you're consciously listening to the words and the activations or not. Your subconscious is listening no matter what. So if you just play it in the background, it is life-changing. You just need to
Yeah.
play it in the background.
Yeah.
Once
So
a day.
true. And this is what's really nice as well. It's not like you're having to take time out
Yeah.
of your day to do something. You can put it on, as you say, cooking
Yes.
on a plane.
I
doing
love
all-
the jazzy cooking ones. I need to
Oh, I
create
haven't
more of
listened
those.
to
I
those
haven't done a
yet.
cooking
No, I need to
one.
do
Oh my
the yeah.
gosh. Like, after a long day, even if I'm not in the mood to like manifest, I'll just put on one of the jazzy cooking activation. Like, it says jazz, I think, in the like music description. And I love jazz. Like,
Yeah.
it is just, it makes me feel like my future self. Like, it's that
She
vibe.
listens to jazz.
She listens to jazz. Okay. So I'll listen to those when I'm like cooking at night sometimes. And it just really helps me like feel alive.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about being distracted a lot, and everyone is so distracted in today's world,
Yeah.
right? I'm a big believer that the feeling of numbness that we all feel when we mindlessly scroll, like, listen, I struggle with it so much, mindlessly scrolling on social media, whether you're over drinking, doing drugs, overeating, being distracted all day and not actually connecting with yourself and connecting with the goals that you have. When you're in this numb state, watching too much TV, just like numbing through life, you know what it feels like to feel numb. That is the opposite of feeling alive.
Yeah.
Okay? Feeling alive. That is what I want to feel for most of this existence. Feeling alive. You know, that's what life is all about. Being in nature, feeling alive, breathing in fresh air, feeling alive, being so present and in your body, and just emotionally feeling that high vibration, future self frequency, feeling alive, being in deep, beautiful conversations with other beautiful humans, you know, that's feeling alive, being so just engulfed with life, okay, and not numbing. And when you are feeling alive, time goes by slower. So many people.
So true.
Yes.
I love that, because time feels so fast right now.
Yeah.
And
I
obviously
know.
the world is extremely intense.
Oh.
But I feel like even this morning, listening, we had it on in the background and just seeing the kids, and you just everything I was doing, pouring my coffee, felt beautiful. So to slow down and notice what's going on, that's what helps you to slow down, rather than it just feeling a blur. And you don't
Exactly.
notice the individual moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally so spot on.
Yeah.
The world, and I've been kind of worried about this too, because I've been feeling, wait, time's going by too quickly. Like, what? Life is so short. I want to, soak it all up. And I think a lot of people have also been feeling that way. I've been talking to friends about it. Why is time going by so freaking quickly?
Yeah.
I think just as a collective, everyone is distracted all the time. And even if we don't think we're that distracted, if we think that we're, pretty good at our practice, like, we are still way more distracted than we were even 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So time is going by faster when you do not feel alive, when you feel numb. Other things that make me feel alive is listening to certain music that makes me feel alive, listening to activations. Activations, like, I tell my audio team, like, baseline, they need to make you feel alive. That's it. That's that is what everyone is instructed to do that work on the audio, is like aliveness. Aliveness is, that feeling in your body. And I don't want time to go by quickly. I want it to go by. I want to really savor this beautiful blip in time that I get to experience as a human being on Earth. So I need to remind myself of this every day, because I also get in and sucked into mind-numbing activities constantly.
Yeah.
Life is busy. Business is busy. Like, traveling is busy. Work, everything is busy, right? So it takes effort to just take yourself out of that and relish in the moment. And that also helps you manifest the life that you want to live, right? So you can create the life you want to live while enjoying the life you're living.
That's it. That's so true.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, isn't it? It's like, you don't have to make this big change. You can do it during the life that you're living
Exactly.
right now, you know?
That's
So
the trick.
what is the science behind, with the walking, what is the science behind why do the walking activations work?
Well, there are a few things. The first thing specifically with walking is that you're genuinely like moving towards something. So for transformation, having the physical component of moving towards something, I think really helps root that in your body. But the actual science behind how activations is so effective and why this actually changes so many people's lives so quickly is because of classical conditioning, right? So when you're listening to activations, you're pairing these new thoughts and beliefs, this new energy with an everyday, more quote, mundane activity, whether that's walking, getting ready in the morning, doing your makeup, brushing your teeth, like whatever moment you choose to habit stack listening to activations, because you just listen to it like you listen to a podcast. It's just a different type of audio, right? When you are pairing these new thoughts, energy, belief with this mundane everyday activity, it's just like the Pavlov's dog theory. We've all heard of this, Pavlov's dog theory. Pavlov rings the bell, the dog salivates, classical conditioning, pairing something with something else and relating them, right? So soon enough, if you listen to a getting ready activation every morning when you're doing your hair and makeup before work or whatever it is, soon enough, you won't even need that activation to feel confident, clear-minded, motivated, inspired, abundant. And then the more you do that, the more that you literally become a magnet, okay? A literal magnet to all of those things that you want. And that is the crazy part, because it feels good to transform. It feels good to manifest wealth. It feels good to manifest confidence, to become your ultimate self, because the act is by being it now. And when you are pairing these new thoughts, energies, beliefs with these everyday actions, walking the dog, cooking dinner, you are literally training yourself to be your future self, to embody your future self frequency in that exact moment. And every single day you get ready, every single day, you brush your teeth, hopefully. Every single day, you walk your dog. Like these are these things that you're just, it is literally the hack to transformation. And I told you before, I like the shortcut. I don't want this like whole rigid routine. Like, this is how I created this, because I wanted the most effective thing that could work, that I could do with the least amount of time in the most enjoyable way possible. And that is where activations came from, because I wasn't good at carving out 20 minutes in the morning to close my eyes and try to meditate. I wasn't good at that. It was always on my to-do list, and I never stick to it.
Isn't it? And a lot of people don't actually want to necessarily be there with that emptying of the mind and sit still with their thoughts. So it's just flipping it and amplifying energy, as you say. And I just think that's why it's so powerful, isn't it?
And there's time and place for meditation. God knows I probably need it. But, like sitting and clearing your mind, like, that's beautiful. And if you're able to do it, whoever is listening right now, that's great. Keep it up. But, if you're looking for something that will actually actively transform the life that you experience, you need something that's visualization focused, that's rooted in movement and everyday moments. And that's what activations are.
Right. So you just briefly touched on routines. Natalie and I would love to know what your morning and evening routines look like. Yes.
So I can tell you the things that I habitually do, but honestly, I've become way less of a routined person over the years. Like, I used to, years ago, before I had figured out exactly what worked, I would have a very structured morning routine, and I would wake up, very early and do all the things and be so structured with it. But the past few years, funny enough, they coincide with the past few years of me manifesting the most I ever have in my life. I actually haven't really had a routine. I'm very intuitive, and the baseline is that I want to feel good, right? So in the morning, I tend to not I try to not check my phone the minute I wake up. Again, I'm nowhere close to perfect, and I will still do that often, but I'd really try not to. And I try to just put my phone away, and I try to journal as well. I don't journal every day, but when I do, I know it's intuitively something that I've been, craving. But I don't do that many things that pull me out of day-to-day life. Like, I actually don't sit down and do these routines as much as I used to. I'm just knowing how to and reminding myself how to be her now in everyday moments. So many mornings don't have any routine, but while I'm cooking breakfast or making a coffee or whatever it is that I'm doing, I'll just naturally start to remember, okay, like, what's my energy? Come on,
What do you need today?
What do I like my energy? How do I feel more abundant and happy right now in my body? And that's it. And that's a little routine. But the reminder of being her now is a big one that I just tell myself. And I think at this point, I have achieved most of the time this feeling of future self frequency in my body. Like I feel like her most of the time. But I do want to reiterate to everyone listening, before I achieved a lot of this that I have in my life, like I actually wasn't in my future self frequency most of the time. I just kept reminding myself, get back into it, get back into it. But the baselines, it starts to change quite slowly. And then you look back and it's been a year and everything has changed, right? So don't focus on perfection when you're doing this work. And that's something I wish I could tell my younger self.
It's a journey.
Don't focus on it.
Also, like, I feel like we should touch on the bounce back.
I literally was just going to come on to that. I was going to ask that next.
Yeah. So that ties into the perfectionism piece. And that's the whole third part of my book is maintaining, right? So the first part of my book is clarity. The second part is becoming. And the third part is maintaining, right? Because you can know who your future self is. You can know what your future self frequency is. You can become her in everyday moments and know how to do that. But if you don't maintain it and you fall off track and you don't get back on the bandwagon for 2 weeks until it's the first of the month or whatever it is, you know, then you're screwed. A Monday. Or if you're waiting for the Monday to hit with the first of the month or the January 1st, like, come on. I used to be like that. I romanticized fresh starts so much. Like it was a big deal for me. I wouldn't go out on New Year's Eve because I was like, I need to be perfect from
like
the
us,
minute.
But I love it.
Me too. No, listen,
it's
same.
like September. We get this really exciting, like it's like that back to school energy.
I know. And
it's
I
like
still
new shit.
listen. It's a good thing.
I think it's a seasonal thing. Is how you kind of see it. Yeah, it's like
I love to step into that energy, but it was so extreme that I would be so not my future self. Like I'd binge, I would feel like shit about myself. I would, do the opposite because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I still love to stay in on a New Year's. Don't get me wrong, but I was going to say like, I would be like very, like I wouldn't treat myself with love right until like midnight. And I'm like, okay, it's going to start now. Right. So my bounce back rate back then was very long. So what I say is don't focus on perfection, focus on a quick bounce back rate because perfection's not the goal. It's unrealistic. And it also just doesn't exist. You can't find me one perfect person on planet Earth that has ever even had one perfect day where they woke up exactly at 5 a.m. and they didn't procrastinate and they did their morning routine and they ate organic and they didn't have one negative thought. You can't find one person. Those beautiful supermodels don't eat like perfectly every single, like no. The most successful business people still procrastinate sometimes. But what the difference between them and the people that don't have whatever it is that they want is that those successful people have a quick bounce back rate. They're like, all right, no big deal. I did that thing. Or a sports person, like they made one wrong move. They don't hold on to it. They let it go and they keep moving. Because when you get in your head, that's where you really start getting held back. I have created this beautiful, juicy, delicious life for myself without ever having one perfect day, without ever having one day where I was perfectly in my future self frequency from start to finish. That doesn't exist. And you can achieve it without being perfect. It's actually amazing how not perfect you can be to achieve what you want. It's not about perfection.
I love that. And I feel like that speaks to me quite deeply because I'm very guilty of a lot of what you just said. I think we both are. We both strive for some level of perfection. And it's like even not putting certain work out in the past, Natalie and I have been guilty of that because we felt like it's not perfect. And then you miss the boat, don't you? And it's like just...
We're really learning and leaning into that though. It's like done is better than perfect, isn't it? And that's how we now kind of operate from. Because
we've struggled in the past.
Things evolve. It's like once something's out, then you can, grow and change that. But if
you learn,
if you never put it out there, it's what's the point?
Exactly. And the biggest thing too is just have fun with it. Like it doesn't have to be hard
and serious all the time.
Transformation is fun for me. It's effortless for me. And once you know what to do, it is easy. You just have to keep doing it. It's actually easy. It really is once you know what to do.
So how do you deal with resistance, or for someone that's dealing with the resistance into becoming their future self? Because it's not easy necessarily. And I think I remember the first time I listened to one of your activations and it didn't sit that comfortably with me initially, because I think it was very, it's very feminine and very kind of, magical, but I think sometimes it can be hard to allow yourself to really embody and feel and kind of allow yourself to get there. So I don't know if you've kind of had that, but that's just I really had to kind of, for someone that's feeling a bit stuck or kind of not used to listening to, the affirmations and allowing their thoughts to go to that place. Yeah, what would you...
Well, the biggest thing for people that feel stuck is you need to believe 100% that what you want is possible. That feeling of stuckness, for me at least, disappears when you realize that you are actually in control of what you create in your life.
Yeah.
That feeling of I am 100% responsible for my life really helps diminish the feelings of, oh, what if, or I'm stuck, or I can't. No, because you're responsible for your life. What would happen if you fully knew that you were responsible for your life? You would do what is necessary to get there. And you'll realize that your beliefs are everything. And if you believe that you're stuck, you're stuck. If you believe you're not stuck, you're not stuck. If you believe it's hard, it's going to be hard. If you believe that it's actually going to be effortless, then it will be effortless. So working on those beliefs is number one thing. And how to do that, there is so much content in activations. You can also just journal. You can also just get really honest with yourself and spend time alone. When I first started this journey, I spent a lot of time alone. And I loved that, just having those evenings, not going out, just sitting at home, not putting technology on, and just writing or reading or just getting to know myself. That really helps. And you get to a place where you're very familiar with the thoughts that you have and the limiting beliefs that you have and your strengths and your weaknesses. So I would say do that. Get very familiar with yourself, for anyone listening that feels stuck. And just put yourself out there, because to create a different life, you need to do different things. Yeah. It's very simple. To create a different life, you need to do different things. You need to act differently, feel differently, embody a different energy. And then when you do that, everything will slowly start to shift. Yeah. And it's not going to be this one day everything collides and your life is fully transformed. It will happen, gradually over, if you're consistent, a couple weeks, a couple months.
That's the secret, isn't it? It's consistency.
But this is the thing. It doesn't actually have to take that long. It creeps up on you because it's not like immediate, but it doesn't have to take that long. I'll look back, and 2 weeks ago, I was like, whoa, I had this belief and now I don't have it anymore. Or 6 months will pass and I'll look at an old journal entry and I'll be like, wow, I wanted this to happen in my business and it's already happened. And I didn't even realize, because I was so in the energy of it happening, that I didn't even celebrate the thing happening. You know what I mean? So one of the most annoying things about manifestation is that you are already in such a place that you expect what you want to happen, that you kind of forget to celebrate sometimes, because you're like, yeah, of course that happened. That happens to me all the time. True. This huge thing will happen and I'm like, wait, I should celebrate this.
We literally say that all the time.
Really, yeah. It's one of those things that I guess it's a good problem to have.
It is. That's so true. What about for people who are surrounded by people who don't share the same energy? Because I know that can be a struggle. We're very fortunate in that, I know personally, I feel like I'm surrounded by very good, positive people, but some people might not have that. So what would you suggest for them?
Well, you are an average of the 5 people you surround yourself with most. Does that scare you? Does that inspire you? That's what everyone listening should be asking themselves. I had to cut a lot of people out at the beginning of my journey, but I didn't do it in this dramatic way. I kind of just, sorry, I'm busy. You just protect yourself. And I think if you're not feeling good about the people around you and they're not on the same wavelength as you, that's okay. We don't need to try to change people. Just, I'd rather spend time alone than with people that aren't energetically aligned with me.
So true.
At least people that are inspired and wanting something more. They don't have to have already been, successful at the thing that, they want, but just people that see life in the same way, right? Yeah. People that see life in that same way, that we are the creators of our lives. We're not really the victims. If we choose to be, we are, but we're not. And the people that want to see more positivity, I don't know, I used to hang out with people that would gossip a lot and talk badly about others. And I just kind of started, of course I was partaking in that back in the day. I was younger and, thought that's what everyone did. And I was also unhappy in my own life at that point. But now I just have, I repel those types of people. It's like no one even wants to, be that version of them or whatever in front of me, because I'm just, it clashes. Like I don't want to be around people like that. I don't want to be around people that are just constantly talking about negativity and focusing on that. I want people that are light and fun and, embrace life. And humor is a big thing for me. Like my friends, like I love laughing. I love, just feeling the good things that, I want to feel. So.
Amazing. Yeah. So what does success look like and feel like to you now?
That's a great question, because as I alluded to earlier, it's changed.
Yeah.
If you asked me this 5 years ago, it was money. I just want financial abundance. And because I really felt, again, like that lack growing up, and all I wanted was money because it felt so unlimited to me. And I will say that money is amazing and I love having it. And I will, always have that as part of my future self frequency, is that wealth and abundance and unlimited feeling. But I've realized that there are just so many other beautiful blessings that I have created in my life that aren't financial at all. Love, relationships. I've been with Ben, my partner, for 8 years now, and we're getting married next month. And that has been honestly one of my favorite manifestations to date. I actually, before I created Activations, the app, I was recording my own, and I created them for myself. This is, back before I ever thought this would ever become a business. It was just for my own personal use. That's how I started to transform. And I recorded an activation on October 12th, 2017. And I was describing him and how he made me feel. And my dream man.
Got goosebumps.
Well, guess what? I met him the next day.
No, you didn't.
On October.
Stop. My arms are like.
October 13th, 2017, we met. It was a Friday.
That's
the 13th.
Like real magic, isn't it?
We literally met that day. Yeah.
You cast a spell.
I am a little witch. Yeah. So
you must have known then, surely,
magic.
how powerful.
No, like this work amazes. Like I'm like, there's no way this isn't true. Like your energy creates your life. You set the intention, it will happen if you maintain that energy, that frequency. When you get into a new energy, a new frequency, you shift lifelines. You literally create a new timeline for yourself.
Well, we've said that, haven't we? There's been moments that we've had some real resistance, and then we've worked hard, we've showed up, and we've really pushed through. And then something on the other side of that will happen. We're like, that's the universe almost rewarding us for not giving up or, pushing
and
through.
Showing up as her. As you said, showing up, because as much as you can visualize and become, you still have to do the physical steps to become that person.
But it just becomes easy.
So sometimes there's an element as well where you do have resistance, like, I can't be bothered, and I make excuses, but then when you do show up, you are rewarded.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. But when you change your self-image first, it makes doing those things that are necessary a lot easier, because it's just who you are. So for example, I identify as the type of person that is, good at business, that attracts opportunities, that, lives, like, has a certain standard in relationships. That is simply what I have in my life, because it's what I embody. I have the identity of someone that's healthy, and I know you do as well, and I'm sure you do as well. I just see all your food posts on Instagram all the time. So you identify as someone who values health. So it's not going to be hard for you to go to the restaurant and order the healthy thing. It's not, you're not like feeling resistance. Oh, I really want this deep fried dish. No, you don't even want it, because it's
so
you actually want the healthy thing because it's aligned with your identity, So the identity work is the core of Activations, and it's actually what helps you transform the most. Think about it like a thermostat on the wall, right? If it's set at 70 degrees and, the door opens and really cool air comes in, then the heating is immediately going to go on, because that thermostat is set at 70 and it needs to stay at 70, because that's what it's programmed to do. Your self-image, your identity is the same thing. If you're programmed from a wealth perspective at a 60 and you get a big bonus, you're naturally going to be thinking about ways to spend that before, that 60 remains. But if your, financial thermostat is at an 80, you get that bonus and you're like, okay, like I'm going to keep, and then you might lose a bit of money, but you're going to work extra hard to bring your savings back to that amount, because it's what you're comfortable with,
Love that.
So that's how you have to think about everything in your life. If you have certain standards with your identity, you're just naturally going to take the actions because it just comes second nature.
I like that thermostat
go,
analogy.
yeah.
It's really clever.
Yeah.
It's really good. Right, shall we jump in some quick
Quick fire.
Yeah,
Let's
before we
go.
wrap it up. Okay. Mimi, what is your favourite meal?
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Well, lately it's been Ben's bolognese. He makes like a homemade bolognese.
Bolognese
Love
is
a
one of my
bolognese,
favorites.
yeah.
Literally
we love it.
So
A good one is so good.
So he makes that from scratch, and he doesn't cook loads. Like I'm more of the cook in the house, but he makes really good meat stuff.
So comforting though, isn't
yeah,
it?
but I also love a typical English Sunday roast.
Do you?
Yeah, like obsessed.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Yeah.
What's one book that has changed your life?
Okay, well, so many books have changed my life in many different times of my life. But I think I have to say the first personal development book I ever read. It was so simple and easy. Like nowadays I'd be like, oh, like that's, like I guess amateur, but
Basic.
basic. But it was The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. I was so young and impressionable, and I just wanted to change my life so badly. And it was all these principles in the book that were very simple but powerful. Like take 100% responsibility for your life. Act as if you're an average of the 5 people you surround yourself with most. A lot of the core kind of beginnings of this work for me was from Jack Canfield. So I will say that, even though it is more of a simple book, and then many other books over time.
But for someone starting, that might be,
Yes.
good. Yeah.
Starting their development journey. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matcha or coffee?
Coffee.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite supplement? Do you take supplements?
I do take supplements.
What's your go-to, like every day?
So they're all like personalized to me because I have my naturopath.
Nice.
Like, so just for everyone listening, this
Yeah,
you might not need this, but I take this. I take a choline supplement, like a dropper, because I'm like really low in choline. And I might be trying to conceive later this year, TBD. So need to get those choline levels up. But it actually tastes really good, the dropper. So I like that one. I also take these omega-3, like I think it's fish oil, but like a few other things in there as well. So I take one of those. Those are really good. I feel good taking those. And then, I'll spot subscribe or prescribe to myself. Whether that is like magnesium or but I'm pretty inconsistent when it comes to taking supplements. I'm just an inconsistent, person generally, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm kind of not that routine. I'm just kind of flow. I'm very intuitive.
Love that.
Yeah.
So what's a daily non-negotiable that always brings you back to your future self energy?
Daily, well, this is the thing. I don't want to lie and say, oh, I journal every day when I don't. But I think the daily non-negotiable is cuddling in bed. Cuddling Ben and Olive, my dog. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, because that makes me feel good.
I love a cuddle.
Yeah, I love a cuddle.
Cole's not very cuddly.
That's something every day. Oh,
I'm not.
You're not.
Don't touch me.
Oh my gosh,
No, I
I'm
know.
obsessed. I just always need to be touching him.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm a
You guys
cuddly
go
person.
for it.
There we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
I'll see you after the podcast.
What's a beauty product that you take to a desert island?
Oh my gosh. A beauty product. Okay.
It's hard, isn't it? I don't even know.
By
what
the
I would
way,
say.
your skin.
I was going to say that
insane, like,
afterwards.
whatever
I
you're
was like,
doing.
what is
Both
the,
of you too. You both have perfect skin. Thank you. I've been on a skin journey because last year I really struggled with acne. Actually, my hormones were off, and then I lost a bit of weight. Actually, the past like 6 to 8 months, and naturally my hormones just changed when I lost that weight. Like, it was only like 10 pounds or so, but like I'm very short, so it feels like a lot on me.
When you're petite, I know that if I put weight on, I feel it very quickly.
Oh,
yeah.
Very quickly. And I was very happy with how I looked before. And I've gone through such a journey over the past, 8 years with my body. But I realized last fall, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to, tighten up a little bit.
Well, you're getting married as well.
I know, that's very motivating. I'm not doing it just because of that, but I just wanted to.
But a lot of people do, don't they?
Exactly.
It's feeling healthy as well.
Yeah. So
your best.
I started just to do the work that I preach. Like there is this activation on the app called Let Yourself Lose Weight. And it's like 3 minutes long. And it's so short, but it just like changes your energy and like makes you feel like you're already in the body that you want to be in. So since the fall, like it was really like, like a pound a month. Like it wasn't quick weight loss, but now everyone's
That's
like, oh my
good.
gosh, like you look so different. I'm like, well, it's been so gradual. Like I didn't even, so It's been very, very slow, but I'm happy with that because I think the slower that you do it, like the longer, like the more like you actually hold on to
sustainable,
it.
isn't it? Yeah,
it's not about
It's
the quick
much healthier,
fixes.
of course. So, well, yeah, what does it?
Okay, so going back to the question here. So skin wise, like obviously I think like how you speak to yourself and your energy matters so much with skin. But I will say that I do love, I have a friend, Roxy. She actually lives in London and she has this lip gloss. You guys would actually love her product. So it's like a lip, not a gloss, not a balm, it's a gloss, she calls it.
Gloss.
But it has a little
like
roller with a pink quartz, a rose quartz. So, and her whole thing is like energy, affirmations, and like her mom founded the organic pharmacy. So her and her mom have this skincare brand. So all their ingredients are amazing. So her lip gloss, I love, and it's very hydrating. So I would say that. Or there's this buttercream from Radford, who, funny enough, is also my friend's brand, Victoria Radford.
Nice.
Radford Beauty, their buttercream. She like gets
It's
it formulated.
moisturizer.
Yeah, it's a moisturizer. Okay. She gets it formulated in like it's from South Korea, which is obviously the best.
Yeah.
The best. So that I love. So yeah, just like hydrating, I would say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's one thing that you're manifesting right now?
Oh my gosh. Okay. There's one thing I can't talk about publicly.
I know, that's okay, isn't it? It's like how much even if someone asked me, I'd be like, well, it's like secret, isn't it? But like one thing
I'm not going to say publicly, but then I'll say one, because I'm typically an oversharer. I just can't talk about this other thing publicly. I think after getting married, like I'd love to slowly kind of start the conceiving process. There's a lot going on with my work right now, so maybe in like September, October, start trying. Then a part of me is like, do I want to share about all of this? Because like, you know, I know some people don't talk about it until they're like, you know, in their first or past the first trimester, but I'm also like such an open book that I'm okay talking about it. I don't know.
I think it's changed a lot over time. I think it was kind of a bit more taboo, wasn't it, to talk about, and people didn't feel as comfortable. Whereas now I kind of see that narrative changing a bit. People are more willing to share their, you know, earlier on.
So I'll say that baby is something I'm trying to manifest, and also just having an amazing, beautiful wedding day and honeymoon. Like I just want to be so present. And we have such an exciting, you know, few months ahead of us. So that's what I'm manifesting.
Have you got a honeymoon booked?
Oh yeah. I'm actually so excited. This is like my future self honeymoon. Well, everything about the wedding too is like my future self wedding. Like one of our top composers that does the music for the app.
I think I saw you share something about this.
He has created a custom composition for when I'm walking down the aisle. And I'm flying him in from LA to actually like do it with the string quartet when
But wasn't there like a moment, I swear you said, and it has to be when you turn
when I turn, and we like designed it together.
Wow.
I went to LA really and like
who gets that?
Yeah.
I mean, that is
very future self.
It has to be me. It has to be me. Listen,
but you're setting the tone for everyone else, though. You know,
and your song will be used for other weddings. Like when I turn, I'm gonna be Mimi.
Exactly. Well, no, be yourself. Best version of yourself. But no, I wanted to feel like I was in an activation all day. It's not going to be my voice on the speakers with the music, obviously.
Can you imagine?
It
would be a bit much. But I'm going to be listening to this, you know, that actually reminded me I should probably start listening to the song on repeat to visualize how I want to feel walking down the aisle. And music is just a really big part of all of it. And then we're going the honeymoon. We're leaving like 3 days after the wedding, and we're going to the Serengeti in Africa for 10 days. And this is like our dream trip. Ben and I are obsessed with like nature films and stuff. And like, it's just so, you feel so alive when you're in a place like that. Right. So we've never been, I've been to South Africa, but I've never been anywhere else in Africa. And I cannot wait because honestly, it's such a luxurious thing as well. Like I thought, it would be good value. It's in Africa. Nope. No. It is flipping. It's like, you know, creeping up to, you know, being a massive cost, but you know, whatever. It's our moment.
Once.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully.
You've got a lot to look forward to.
Exactly. I'm so excited. Like it just feels like an epic dream trip. And then
what an exciting summer ahead for you. Well, Mimi, yeah.
Well, Mimi.
Thank you. Honestly, this has
Thank
been
you,
a beautiful
guys.
conversation. And thank you so
we've loved
much.
talking
Thank
to
you
you.
so
And where can
much.
people find you if they don't already follow you?
Yeah. So, oh, by the way, if you guys are listening and you want to try activations, you can get 2 weeks free and a big
Amazing.
discount on your subscription, but we can't offer discounts on the App Store. So you have to go to the website to get it, which is super simple.
We'll be sure to share the link.
Yeah.
then,
Perfect.
yeah.
I can even
Okay.
give, like, I have a special link that I give to, my followers. It makes sure that you get the lowest price plus the 2 weeks free.
Amazing. Okay.
It's just activations.com/Mimi. And that's
Okay.
it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I usually just tell people that one because it's
And then
the
people can
most
try
discounted.
it, and that's a nice way.
You can try it for 2
introduction.
whole weeks for free, and
Yeah.
you can get it's a money back guarantee thing too if you forget to cancel and you hate it. Like, literally so low risk. We also decided to make it a 2-week trial because you can actually see a difference in your life
Yeah.
in 2 weeks. Like, you can
Yeah.
feel the shift if you just stay kind of consistent with it.
Yeah.
So everyone listening, go to activations.com/Mimi and get 14 days free and a big discount off your subscription. And then if you want to read my book, it was released a couple months ago with Hay House. It's called Activate Your Future Self. And you can find that on Amazon or anywhere that you buy
We'll
books.
link that as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. And then my Instagram is just at Mimi Bouchard. And that's it.
We look forward to seeing your wedding content.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You better be sharing
I'll
it
share it one day.
one day. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mimi.
guys.